Imagine a 3-year-old boy running into the arms of a complete stranger at a playground, laughing as if they've known each other for years. Now imagine the secret connection that makes this moment so extraordinary, a bond that will leave you in awe. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we have a true story that's been trending across the US and UK. A story of tragic loss, unexpected reunion, and the enduring power of love. It all begins with a young family torn apart by fate, and ends with a heartwarming twist that even death couldn't stop. In March 2022, on a quiet road in Saltville, Virginia, 20-year-old Christopher Stiltner was driving with his family when tragedy struck. Their car crashed, and in the split second before impact, Christopher performed one final act of love. He shielded his pregnant wife, Candra, with his own body. The crash was devastating. Christopher did not survive his injuries, passing away 2 days later on March 18, 2022. Yet thanks to his selfless instinct, Candra and their 2 little daughters survived with only minor injuries. Candra was in her 2nd trimester at the time, carrying their unborn son who would never get to meet his dad. This young father, barely out of his teens, died a hero, giving everything to protect his family. Christopher's death left Candra, a 23-year-old widowed mother of 3, heartbroken yet determined to keep his memory alive. They had been together since school, childhood sweethearts building a life from a young age. He became a dad at just 16 and cherished being a father more than anything in the world. Now Candra faced raising their children without him, but amid the grief, she clung to one source of comfort. Christopher had made a life-saving choice just months before the accident. He had registered as an organ donor. Even in death, Christopher wanted to help others, a decision that soon gave his family an unexpected ray of hope. His organs saved multiple lives. One organ donor can save up to 8 people, and one of those lives would end up transforming his own family's healing journey. One of Christopher's donated organs was his heart, which went to a 37-year-old man named Dominique Wilson, who desperately needed a transplant. For Dominique, a stranger, Christopher's heart was literally the gift of life. For Candra, knowing a part of her husband was out there still beating was both surreal and comforting. 2 years passed after Christopher's death. Candra often wondered about the man carrying her husband's heart. In the summer of 2024, she decided it was time to reach out and meet him. It wasn't an easy decision. How do you approach someone and say, "You have my husband's heart"? But Dominique was open to it. They connected through the transplant organization and arranged to meet in person. Little did either family know that this meeting would lead to a moment both heartbreaking and beautiful, one that would soon go viral across the internet. They agreed to meet at a local park on a warm afternoon. Candra brought her 3 children along, including her son Vincent, the baby boy who had been in her belly the night of the accident, now a curious 3-year-old. As soon as they arrived, Candra felt a jolt of emotion. When she saw Dominique, it was like seeing an old friend. In fact, she later said, "It was the best day ever. I finally felt like I could breathe, like Christopher was there." As Dominique approached, Candra's heart pounded. Here stood the man who carried the heart of her late husband. Would her children feel anything? Would she feel anything? She was about to find out. No sooner had they greeted each other than young Vincent toddled right up to Dominique. The little boy looked up at this tall stranger, then grinned and began to play as if they'd known each other forever. In minutes, Vincent was chasing Dominique around the playground, giggling and refusing to leave his side. Candra watched in astonishment. Dominique laughed and played along, and Candra's two daughters joined in. It was like a family reunion, yet they had never met before. Other people at the park had no idea what was happening, but Candra did. She felt an overwhelming sense that Christopher was somehow present in that moment. She later remembered noticing a familiar scent in the air. "That day at the park, I smelled his cologne," Candra said of her late husband. It was as if Christopher's spirit was right there, running and laughing with them. Then came the most touching moment of all. Little Vincent stopped running, walked up to Dominique, and gently placed his tiny hand on Dominique's chest, right where his heart beats. Dominique and Candra both froze. Vincent left his hand there for a moment, as if he somehow knew. "He knew his daddy was there," Candra said of her son's uncanny gesture. This was the first time Vincent had ever met Dominique. He was born after his father's death, and he was far too young to understand what a heart transplant even meant. Yet, by some miracle or intuition, he was drawn to the man carrying his father's heart. Candra's eyes welled up with tears as she watched Dominique scoop Vincent into a hug. "Seeing Vincent and Dominique run around together brought joy to my heart," she said. "It felt like Vincent found what he was always missing, time with his daddy." In that incredible moment, a little boy, a widowed mother, and a transplant recipient formed a bond that transcended the boundaries of life and death. What Candra didn't expect was that this private moment would soon touch millions of people around the world. She had captured a short video clip of Vincent and Dominique playing together and later shared it on TikTok to remember the day. Within days, that video went viral, garnering millions of views and an outpouring of emotional responses across social media. Viewers around the globe were moved to tears once they learned the story behind the footage. Many commented that they felt goosebumps seeing Vincent instinctively reach for Dominique's heartbeat, calling it a sign that his father's love lives on. Others simply said it was the most heartwarming thing they'd seen all year. In late August 2025, major news outlets picked up the story, and headlines in the US and UK spoke of the 3-year-old boy who found an uncanny bond with the man carrying his late father's heart. The viral moment became a beacon of hope and healing, illustrating the profound impact of organ donation and the enduring nature of love. Beyond the viral video and the internet buzz, there is a deeper psychological story here. This family's journey shows how people cope with unimaginable loss. Grief counselors often talk about continuing bonds, finding ways to keep a lost loved one part of your life instead of simply trying to move on. Modern research suggests that maintaining an ongoing connection to the deceased can actually help in healing. Love and connection do not end with death, they simply change form. Candra seems to intuitively understand this. "I talk about him any chance I get," she says of Christopher. She keeps his memory alive daily, posting stories and photos of him, buying things he would have loved, even wearing his cologne and old shirts just to feel close to him. These small rituals give her comfort. They ensure that Christopher's presence remains woven into the fabric of their family's life, even as the children grow up without their father. Psychologists note that such healthy remembrance rituals can facilitate emotional adjustment and personal growth after a loss. In other words, keeping a loved one's memory alive can be a healing act. And in Candra's case, meeting Dominique was perhaps the ultimate continuation of her bond with Christopher, literally hearing and feeling his heartbeat again in someone else. For Dominique Wilson, the heart recipient, this connection was equally profound. He not only got a second chance at life, he gained an extended family. Since that first meeting, Dominique, or Uncle Dom, as the kids now call him, has remained close with Candra and her children. They talk every few days, swap photos of the kids, and check in on each other. It's as though the two families have merged into one, united by the heart they share. Dominique has expressed immense gratitude to Candra. After all, her husband's gift allowed him to live to see his own family grow. And Candra finds comfort in seeing Dominique live a healthy life, knowing Christopher's heart continues to beat strong. In a very real sense, Christopher's legacy lives on through Dominique, and through the joy Dominique brings to her children. As we come to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on what it teaches us. First, it's a story about selflessness. Christopher's instinct to protect his family and his choice to be an organ donor saved lives and allowed love to echo beyond his own lifetime. Second, it's a story about connection. A reminder that the people we love never truly leave us. Sometimes they return to us in the most unexpected ways. A little boy who never met his dad somehow recognized part of him in a stranger, proving that some bonds transcend explanation. Finally, it's a story of hope. Out of a devastating loss grew a beautiful new friendship and a viral moment that has inspired millions. It reminds us that even in our darkest times, there can be light and healing. The message here is simple yet profound. Love endures, and kindness can create miracles. Candra and Dominique's story encourages all of us to cherish our loved ones and to consider how we too can turn pain into purpose. The next time you hug someone you care about, remember that life is fragile and precious. And remember Christopher Stiltner, a young father who in death gave life to others. His story is proof that a single act of love can ripple through time, bridging families and touching hearts around the world. Thank you for watching, and we hope this story moved you as much as it moved us. Stay tuned for more true stories that remind us of the wise, the stupid, and the funny moments life has to offer. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.